1830s Vermont. Hezekiah Hatch is a farmer, settled on a plot of land he bought from his father, 10 miles from the old family homestead. While he manages the farm, Hezekiah spends his time wrestling with theological questions, eventually drafting a book of his own sermons and writings. He titles the completed manuscript, Universal Salvation. The core argument of his text is that salvation is available to all mankind, provided they choose to accept it, a stance that contrasts with the religious doctrines common in his local area. His spiritual beliefs had physically outgrown his environment. He wasn't looking for a congregation to join, he was building his own. In the autumn of 1839, 2 missionaries, Elders Chase and Brown, arrive in town preaching the message of the Latter-day Saints. Hezekiah is the first person in the area to listen to them, and he accepts their new message immediately. The missionaries' teachings provide a direct parallel to the theories he had already outlined in his own manuscript. In 1840, he is baptized. His 7th child is born, whom he names Hezekiah Moroni to reflect his new faith. When a man's private theology is validated by an organized movement, the resulting conviction can be strong enough to uproot his entire life. Hezekiah takes this new doctrine directly to his parents and his siblings, urging them to hear the same message. His efforts lead to baptisms. His wife Aldura, parents, sister, and brother Josephus join the faith. Remarkably, his mother, crippled for 13 years, sets aside her crutches. Yet 2 brothers and his eldest son remain outside the church. These new beliefs redraw the lines of allegiance within the Hatch family, permanently separating those who stayed in Vermont from those who would move on. Following their new faith requires a move. The family decides to leave Vermont for the Latter-day Saints settlement of Nauvoo, Illinois. Before they can leave, his wife Aldura dies in 1842, leaving Hezekiah a single father with 5 children. Despite this, he completes the move to Nauvoo, where he manages to acquire property and a degree of wealth. He rises quickly within the church hierarchy. In March 1843, he is ordained a patriarch by Hiram Smith. Hezekiah's journey is defined by this trade. He gave up a settled life in Vermont and lost his wife, only to reach a high spiritual status in a new city. Just 3 months after reaching this point in his spiritual career, the family's situation changes again. On June 26, 1843, Hezekiah Hatch dies in Nauvoo. His death leaves the family without its primary navigator. His father's records describe him as the one on whom I lean on for comfort. The household immediately separates. His teenage boys must manage on their own, while his 2 youngest daughters are sent back to live with their grandparents. When the person who organized the family's migration is gone, the unit he built begins to pull apart, leaving the survivors to navigate the frontier alone. A year after Hezekiah's death, the church's leadership is targeted, and Joseph Smith is killed. This engraving shows the Mormon temple at Nauvoo. Hezekiah had worked on its construction, but he died before the building could be used. As the city becomes increasingly unstable, the temple remains unfinished for 30 months after Hezekiah's passing. To assist the stranded children, Hezekiah's older brother Josephus moves his own family to Nauvoo to take charge of the situation. In February 1846, the family finally joins the general exodus from the city, beginning the trek to winter quarters in Nebraska. Hezekiah Hatch never reached the West, but his conversion and the move he orchestrated set his descendants on a path that would end at the Pacific.